chocolate hypo. Het DG paired to a Mandarin hypo phantom. It's going to be a good clutch. I think I had 6 or 7 eggs. That sometimes in these pairings, a lot of the power comes through in the male. So when you purchase a hardcore powerhouse male, you can take some more simple females and make some really great banger hatchlings. And this male right here is a banger. He is a powerhouse. He's a Desert Ghost genetic stripe Krypton, triple recessive, which some people would say it's a double recessive, double het, but it's triple recessive to me. Black pastel leopard spot nose. So he's carrying a lot of genes. He's gene packed, and he's going to a female that's a genetic stripe orange stream. I think we'll have some good hatchlings out of it.
Beautiful, man.
He is, right? Over here. And now he's about to go to an Enchi Quint. Krypton, Desert Ghost, genetic stripe pied. So it's het. It's not a visual print. It's het for those things. Genetic stripe, Desert Ghost, pied, Krypton, Enchi. Get the word for it. They're breeding, so it ain't the prettiest, but we have a Hurricane. He's done on here. Take this boy to go with a new female. He's a Hurricane Monarch, paired to a Fire Mahogany double het Monarch pied, and he's gonna take his way over here, and he's gonna continue to work this week with this female. He's almost done with her. He's got a lot of locks. Who's a Mandarin het Monarch.
Shed tested.
Shed tested, proved out. We're pretty heavy in the Mandarin Monarch project. I like what it does, so I'm trying to have an abundance. What we have here, look at the size on her. I think that's going to be a girthy female with some big egg. That's a cryptic ultramel paired to a cypress leopard blackhead ultramel. So we'll throw those codoms in there and get us some het cryptics with the ultramel project. It's a Mandarin female, big old Mandarin het Monarch female paired to a leopard Mojave monsoon het Desert Ghost. So everything out of this clutch will be shed tested. Hoping for some visual Mandarins, hit the jackpot with het Monarch and het DGs with a couple of those codoms. This girl right here just laid for me. Big female, 9 egg rainbow clutch. The biggest rainbow clutch I've ever had, right here. She's a Hurricane, triple het. Het DG, het rainbow, het hypo. And she just laid 9 big eggs. Right here we got a Mandarin coral glow het hypo paired to a Mandarin hypo phantom. I leave it dirty when they're breeding because I think it helps them breed. That's a good banger project right there. Their babies will definitely outproduce their parents on this one. This girl right here is an Enchi Desert Ghost. She looks like she finally took. Enchi Desert Ghost, het pied, het hypo paired to a monsoon, a leopard Mojave, het Desert Ghost. So that's another one. Every single thing will be shed tested in that collection. She's about to lay her pre-lay right here. You want to come get a glimpse at her? She is a hypo pied het Desert Ghost paired to a Desert Ghost pied het hypo het clown. It's going to be a good one. Bringing out that Barnhart black pastel. I like black pastel altogether. I'm unbiased. It's a Barnhart black pastel leopard scrambler het clown. Got it from Chris Herman. Yeah, she's pushing it right now where she's about ready to start pairing up. She's pushing that 1,400 gram mark. Sometimes I'm a little patient, let them break the 1,300, no rush. And I'm gonna pair her to a Calico Enchi Scrambler het clown. I'm pretty sure that's what she's gonna start going to. This girl's up on Morph Market for sale, but people waited a little bit too long. She's getting a little bit too much weight, or she ain't gonna be for sale anymore. This is one of my favorite pinstripe. My favorite pinstripe combos is DG clowns. But runner-up would be a DG clown pie. I like it like that. Even though she is a DG clown, when you throw that pied in there, I think it takes it down a hair. I do like it better with pinstripe without the pied, but I really do like this girl in this combo. She is coming off her fast, around 1,000 gram fast, and she's starting to pound food. So we're gonna let nature take its course, see how she does. And I'm gonna take her off Morph Market because I'm not gonna let somebody steal her now. And she's gonna be bred probably in the next couple weeks if she continues to eat the way she has been. I'm gonna go throw her on the scale while I got her out. She's a year old right now. A year on the head. She's 1,173 grams. And we feed them. We feed them here at Righteous Reptiles. If they'll eat, they're gonna eat. She just broke through her 1,000 gram fast. That is a beautiful snake right there. I'm telling you, that's in my top 5 favorite snakes that I got here at my facility. And you know what? I'm so glad nobody bought her. Alright, this girl here is also about to come off Morph Market. I have been asking a high price for her. I see people that have the same genetics, but a little bit lower. They just came out. Their snakes are a lot smaller. But she's gotten too big. She's gotten too big. I can't leave her on there. I can't give her away. I've got a year of feeding her. She's a little bit of a more picky eater than her sister. She likes jumbo mice. That's what she likes. I got to trick her into eating a rat, and she's smart. But I think she's beautiful. She's a DG clown pied yellow belly het hypo. She's a genetic powerhouse. She is actually 1 year old to the day too. She's in and out with her food, man. But she is still a really good size and a good weight, and I'll go throw her on the scale. 888, 890. It's a good weight for her. And that's almost 90% of her life just eating mice. That's finding out what she wants and giving it to her. You know, sometimes I think people, their snake doesn't like a certain type of food. They want to kind of force them into eating what is beneficial for them in their daily habit. And I think that sometimes you got to accommodate your snake. If that means that you got to go out of your way and go pick up something that you don't breed, do it. And that's not a big deal to me, man. To get my snake to eat is the most important thing. And I think sometimes that breeders are too stubborn trying to get their snake to be on rats or whatever else, whatever's convenient for them. And I think figuring out what they want and how they want it, what size tub they want to be in, and what prey they want is key to really caring for your animals. Scripture tells us that a righteous man cares for his beasts. And I think that's what we should all do. Accommodate to our animals. 200 grams different. This, I'm gonna pull out a couple banger males that I held back from last year that aren't where I want it to be in size, but they're eating good. And the only reason they're not where I want them to be is because they were born a couple months later in the season. It's not because they've done anything wrong. It's not because they're not eating good, because they are eating good right here. It's a beautiful snake. And he's pounding food. He's pounding food. He will be going into, this one never even made it on Morph Market. I couldn't bring myself to get rid of him. And a lot of people have seen the hypo mandarins. They're pretty common. They're out there. But this one here has one simple coat on that gets slept on all the time. And fire. You throw fire in there with your hypo mandarin, and this is what you get. And I love it. I love that combo, and he won't go anywhere. We'll throw him on the scale too. He's doing really good. And once he hits about 600, I'll put him in a 35. So after he gains about another 100, 120 grams, he'll make it to a 35. And then we'll see how he does. And if he doesn't respond well, we'll put him back in. No rush. This one here, I put it on Morph Market for about 2 weeks. And it got too much interest for me. And I decided that Jared had been talking to me, telling me I need to take it down, and I decided to agree with him. After I got this not much interest, but they were all lowballers. But even if somebody came in and didn't lowball me and came in at full price, I think I made the right decision by taking this right off Morph Market. This is a finicky eater, but he's doing good. And when he eats, he eats. So I try to give him as much as he can, and the biggest size prey that he can. This is what most people, they know me for breeding this last year. It's the Mandarin Hurricane Monarch. He has a sister that looks just like him. He's a feisty snake. I'm surprised he hasn't tried to bite us yet. But he's a good boy. He's getting up to size. He's one of my favorite combos that I produced last year. I love Mandarin, and I think that it is an untapped project. I think there's so much stuff that it can go into that it has not, or we haven't seen it yet. People are keeping it a secret, maybe. But there's a lot that I want to do with it. Oh, and he has the split gene. If you look at that, he's Hurricane, and when you see that split gene in there, it really makes it pop. His sister's very similar. This snake is in a 3-pack combo that is, it has been sold for a while. It's going to Japan, and it's just taking a long time to get it out. But I think this snake is a perfect display of the potential that Mandarin has, because everybody out there thinks that you have to put Mandarin with hypo to make it pop. And I think that's incorrect, because when you put the right co-dominance with it and it gets that pattern, it truly makes the Mandarin pop. And this is one example, and while I'm talking about this, it gives me brings another snake to my mind, and that's a Mandarin Mario. But this is a Mandarin Hurricane Het Monarch, and it's a beautiful snake, and it makes the Hurricane pop and it makes the Mandarin pop. And this person was smart because he bought all of them, and when he starts, he has the potential to breed the Super Hurricane, Super Mandarin Monarchs, and so do I. And that's the next step. This snake won't stop eating. He does not miss a meal. So this is a clutch that I produced at either the beginning of last year or the very end of the one before that. And this is when I discovered here what Mandarin does, like I was just saying in the last video, that when it hits the right codoms, you don't necessarily need hypo with your Mandarin. You need it with the right combinations. You need the right codoms. And a lot of these codoms that have that pattern to it, it makes not just the Mandarin pop, but it makes the pattern pop. And what I showed before was a Hurricane Mandarin, and this here is a Mario Mandarin, and she is really eating well right now, and she is just beautiful. Just look at how that Mandarin pop with them patterns. The Mario gene is so, and after I seen this, I love it so much that I took every single Mario female that I have, and I produced it with Mandarin this year. Every single Mario I got. There's not a Mario in this facility that went to a male that is not Mandarin. We're about to throw her on a scale. She's getting there. This is a Fire Confusion. He's up on work marker right now, and I don't know, another 100 or 200 grams, I'll take him down. Female, actually. So it's a Fire Confusion Spot Nose. Double het clown, het monarch, and that thing is just, man, somebody should go snatch her up. She is beautiful, but if they don't, my feelings won't be hurt at all. She'll just stay here, because Monarch is my favorite project. Outside of Mandarin, I think Monarch is, to me, makes the most beautiful snakes out there. And when you pair it with stuff like this, I think you're onto the right stuff. But I'm gonna show you a couple more. I want to show you something real quick, and I'm gonna keep this snake out. This is gonna be controversial, but I don't care. I'm cool with that. These snakes are from the same clutch. This one here is a Leopard Spot Nose Confusion, double het. This one's got the fire in it. Big difference in size, right? What the difference is this snake started pounding food from the beginning, and this one didn't. He probably went up to 2.5 months without ever eating a meal. And this is where the controversy comes in. I don't assist feed my snakes. I don't think that produces the strongest snakes for our upcoming future and generations of snakes to come. I think it weakens them. And I know a lot of people will say, oh, I disagree with you, you need to assist feed your snakes. But if we want the strongest snakes out there, and if you're getting snakes from me, you're going to get the strongest ones out there, because I'm not going to assist feed them. I'm going to let nature take its course. And right here, nature took its course, and this boy right now is pounding food. He's getting size on him. He's healthy. He is strong, and he proved to be a strengthened snake. A snake that was able to survive, that got into his natural intuition to start eating food. And now he's looking great. He's pounding food. He's on pup rats, and he's flourishing. And this one here, this female, she started pounding food from the beginning. She's got the size to it. But I don't think that we have to assist feed snakes that are weak that would die in the wild. Just my take. What's yours? This is another holdback. She's up on Market, but somebody's got to pay for it if they want it. This isn't your typical Batman right here. This is a super leopard. Confusion. Spot nose clown. And it's heifer monarch, 100%. She's not going anywhere. She's up for sale for a high price, so somebody could buy her if they were willing to pay. But I don't think I marked her for an unreasonable price, but I put her for a price that I could justify selling her. But she's beautiful. She's an absolute powerhouse. She's gene stacked, and she is pounding food. Super leopard. A lot of people say they don't look different, but man, I'm telling you, when you look at them, they just have a different look to them. But that's a black pastel mandarin. Pause fan and het hypo het pied paired to a clown triple het hypo DG pied. Hoping to get hypo mandarin pieds. Black pastel wouldn't hurt. So this is a simple pied het clown, but like I was saying earlier, when you put the right male to them, the potential is there. So she got paired up to a male that's a yellow bellied clown triple het hypo and DG pied. So everything that's going to be in there that's a yellow belly clown pied has a good shot at being het for DG, het for hypo. And I did the breeding because there's a lot in there that I would like to keep. Like I was saying earlier, that everything that I have with Mario in it is going to Mandarin because I love that combination so much. And right here, you can see it. This is a Mario Fire, possible Hurricane, which I think if she is, it's going to be a banger because she went to a Mandarin male.
Oh,
wait.
shoot.
She's
There's
sitting on
eggs.
4, but she's not done. I think she's still
Oh
got
no,
one.
she's still got one coming out of her cloaca there, yeah.
Oh wow, you can see that thing at the end. That's a really cool footage for the video. She's coming to it and get another egg out. I wouldn't be surprised she had a couple in there. So I'm gonna leave her alone, and I'll probably give her overnight before I pull those eggs. I always like to give them time after laying. I think when you rush, it's no good for the snake. I always want to give them time because I can't tell you how many times I thought they were done, and I go and I wash the snake off, put them on new cocoa, come in there the next day and there's an egg, a single egg. So today she's in the middle of laying. I won't touch her until tomorrow. She's another one that's up on Market. I think I have her for a really reasonable price. She's marked at $2,000, and I want to keep her. So she's one I usually, if somebody comes to me and they want 10% off, I'll usually do it to make the deal happen. But she's one that I've had people come right there, man, 10, 15% off. But she's one that I discussed it with my partner and my wife, and I said that no matter what, like if somebody's not going to pay full price for this snake, I'm not getting rid of her. I think she's a beautiful snake. All right, I appreciate you guys, man. Following Jared, following me, keeping up with what we're doing. This is the last of what I have from 2025. It's a mixture of things that sold, waiting to go out, things that I've decided to hold back, things that I'm keeping up, thinking about holding back. And like you can see with these sheds hanging out that I'm gonna be sending to Charlie soon, that depending on results, will be staying here or going. So very little in here that's still available. So thank you guys for helping me sell out pretty much everything I bred last year. We appreciate you guys. Thank you guys.